All right, Archero 2, chapter 66 for a 6-minute chapter. I think this one took me about 17 minutes. This was not an enjoyable run right here. I mean, I didn't get tracking eye, which this is what happens when you go and you push a whole bunch of chapters with the best skills. When you don't get them, things really seem to drag on. So this is going to be one of the survivor.io styles. I guess what they call them, kill them all or whatever it is. Reverse bullet hell, that's what it was. But at any rate, this is where I'm at here. And this maybe took me, I'd say probably 15 to 20 tries. One of the big problems I was running into is something that was actually suggested of when you go and get your skill, having just a couple seconds of invincibility. Maybe 3 or 4 times I had a good run, had tracking eye, and then I grabbed that skill and immediately get shot dead with the one shot there. So there was a little bit of a downer on it, but I didn't show my actual runes on this one. My actual power is 1.5 million, I think, 1.49, pretty close. But the runes, we are using the 2 weapon ones. I am running an elemental one, so weapon etched, elemental etched, and then I have the 4 elementals for fire, freeze, lightning, and poison. So was hoping that those were going to help out a little bit, but doesn't really seem to be the case. One of the big things I was trying to do was go and get that kind of push enemies away as they get close to you. Can't remember the name of the skill. And I wouldn't really stick close to the outside. I would kind of just leave myself maybe, well, if there's the outer edge and then the middle, maybe like a quarter of the way from the outer edge. That way, if I needed to, I could kind of tuck around the outside and just stutter step, I guess a big stutter step on it, and just worked my way around. One of the big pains on this is there is those mobs that once they get close to you, they'll go explode fireballs into 6 different directions. So I was trying to just get close to them for a second, run away. So movement speed was a nice thing to have on it too. But then there's also these things that'll pop up in the corner that are just going to shoot fireballs out also. So that's annoying. We have archers out there and then the kind of dead trees that'll shoot the green things in kind of like an X or plus pattern, whatever way you're facing on it. So those were kind of the annoying ones. Oh, and the bees too. Can never forget the bees. Those always tend to get me. But like I said, this is a 6-minute chapter. So 17 minutes on it means that about 11 minutes of it was kind of going against the bosses. And the bosses aren't anything crazy at all. It was just taking forever to go and knock them down. Now the first one was going to be the Golem that's going to toss out a giant rock that's going to split into 4 different directions. Those will bounce off the wall and then he'll kind of just lob one fast one at you, which won't have any bounce at all to it. So those are really the only 2 attacks that he had. I was trying to get, say, a bunch of dodge, some invincibility vials. I think I got the one which was going to be the shield that would go and, you know, every 30 seconds you start with one. So that was a little bit of a help. But as far as this run, I don't think there was anything crazy. I mean, I maybe got some diagonal arrows, maybe got multi-shot, but as things went through, it just seemed like it was taking forever to kill these things. Oh, I did get a poison in there also. So that did help out a little bit. And I think maybe bouncy wall or ricochet. I played this thing so many times. And like I said, even with tracking eye, it was just giving me a nightmare of a time. The big thing on this though, is I just had to keep on moving nonstop. And there was a lot of little dodging in there. The invincibility vial really did help out those moments where it's like, okay, I can either grab this, run through some mobs real quick to find myself a clearing, or I can grab it and just kind of sit still for say 2 seconds or so, pop some shots off and hopefully drop some of these enemies. But here's the first boss right here. This is going to be the Golem, and we're not going to go and show you all the way through. I'll probably end up speeding it up if anything, because this, like I said, it takes forever. This is probably maybe a good 5-minute run here. Let me just go and find out when I ran into them and when I stopped fighting them. So about 5.5 minutes on that one there. That was a lot longer than it needed to be. But like I said, it wasn't anything that I ever felt like I was in a bad spot on it. It was probably gonna be more difficult when I got to the second boss, which was going to be the Archer, just because those projectiles were coming out a little bit faster. Now, as far as the type of skeleton archer it was gonna be the one that would go possibly shoot out maybe 2 or 3 straight arrows that would bounce, and then it would also have the spread of 4 that would also bounce. So not really anything for the ones that were the spread. Those were pretty easy to dodge, but the one that was just kind of a fast one out at you, that was a little bit trickier. But still, wasn't anything too bad in the fact that these are pretty big maps. So if you're able to kind of keep an eye or at least figure out where these things are going once they hit the wall, you can pretty much stay clear. I was even trying to go through and just kind of stay close to the bosses just so I could see them on the screen, see what was coming out versus just having the mystery of these things coming off, you know, from where I couldn't see them, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's an arrow. But that's never a good situation either, because they could always just kind of scoot close to you and really put you in a bad position. But a lot of just grabbing the invincibility vial, a lot of just running around, sneaking my way through, and as you can see here, we end up beating it. So yeah, finally down on chapter 66. I know a lot of people are saying chapter 67 is a nightmare, so we'll see how fast I beat that one. But if you guys want to know what's coming in update 1.0.15 and everything about it, take a look at this video right here. Thanks for watching, and remember, I pick my butt.